Mark.
Whoa. Somebody's got caught in the garbage can this morning. There we go. Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos. He's Forrest Latta.
I knew Forrest Latta.
I know it. Of course, Forrest, good morning to you, my friend. And
good morning.
And of course, it is a Friday, the 21st day of August, and we're moving right along. They say now the Troy Trojans of Coach Chip Lindsey will open the football season on September the 5th.
At home.
At home against University of Louisiana at Monroe. So that's going to be a heck of an opener right there now.
It is.
A lot of different.
They're saying possibly ESPN will pick up that game. Just due to the fact there's not too many games that day, and it's two conference teams playing against each other. First time Troy's opened the conference to start the season since I think 2008, when Troy went up to Murfreesboro and blew out Middle Tennessee State. We were at that game.
Yeah, but I tell you what, and if I had a picture, I might put him up here. But ladies and gentlemen, Brent and his buddies just pulled off a coup. I tell you, getting a 12-game schedule and 6 games at home, that means 6 paydays for the city of Troy.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, let's just see how many fans they allow to go to the games. They're going to release that today.
Right.
Yeah.
Every other school across the country has been 20%. I don't know what it's going to look like as far as attendance, so we'll find out today, I guess.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting to see. And, of course, we appreciate the efforts that they made over there to do what they did. Alabama plays 5 at home, and Auburn plays 5 at home. Troy plays 6 at home. How about that?
That's good.
Interesting reading the article that he put out yesterday that I think he made 196 schedule changes within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what it says in the Dothan paper today. There's a nice article in there.
It's interesting. Jacksonville State now is going to play Florida State. Florida State was looking for a game.
Yeah. Only Troy, they offered Troy.
UAB added 2 home games yesterday. They added Central Arkansas, and they also added Louisiana Lafayette, which Lafayette could definitely go in there and beat UAB.
Oh, yeah, no question.
One of the best teams in the Sun Belt this year.
Yeah, they might have gotten a buzzsaw there. Are those home games, are those both home games for UAB?
Yeah, both home games, yeah. We can go over the schedule, though, if you want to. Just let me know.
All right, we're ready. Let's, of course, want to wish everybody a wonderful, wonderful morning. And, of course, as today is Brent Jones Day here on our show. We self-proclaim today is Brent Jones Day. Of course, Brent Jones is the athletic director at Troy University. And, man, you're talking about a job to go down when everybody's looking for those last slots available, but it was some cut and dry there, wasn't it?
In the Dothan paper today said he was at a baseball game. His son was in a tournament, and he went to see him play, but he was on the phone all the time between batting and talking to ADs left and right, trying to get everything finalized.
And Brent Jones, our telephone number is on the screen, 670-0052, and Kyle, his assistant, and his whole staff should be commended for a job well done. And anytime you can play 6 games at home, you've got a good chance to have not only a great season, but also you're going to enhance your program, your football program, and of course you're going to also enhance the tax base of your community, because each football weekend, I would say at least the tax revenue is over $1 million.
Well, the players have to be elated to play early rather than wait to the 26th of September, despite all the things that are going on throughout the country.
You're looking at 25,000 to 30,000 people in your community 6 times during the fall of the year. So that's pretty good.
You're not looking at it in a COVID-19 world. Going to games.
Well, I'm just saying.
Troy's going to just
It's gonna still fill up the hotels and the grocery stores and the gas stations and the candy shops and gas stations. It's still going to.
Candy shop in Troy. Somebody does need to open one of those.
Even the high schools have restrictions that are published, and throughout the South.
What about the fact that Troy could have played 2 1AA schools, and both of those were counted towards your overall record as far as going to a bowl game, and they decide they can only play one. They play Eastern Kentucky, who Troy, of course, has played before over the years. Of course, they had a legendary coach named Roy Kidd that won over 200 games. That was very surprising to me, but I think Brent Jones ran out of 1AA teams that were going to play in the fall. Everybody else moved their seasons to the spring, and that really hurt as well.
Jacksonville State, I thought they were handcuffed for a while there, and I can understand them taking full advantage of the Florida State game, and that's going to be a real good thing for their program.
Jacksonville State's going to play 4 games in the fall, and then 8 conference games in the spring. How strange is that?
Jacksonville State is. All right, now, also Eastern Kentucky
is going to do the same thing.
Yeah, and Eastern Kentucky's in that same league with the Ohio Valley.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah. Okay, y'all want to hear the schedule?
All right, yeah. Go fairly slow so we can identify these schools. Go ahead.
All right, so the Warhawks of La Monroe come in on September the 5th. The schedule of the kick will be released today, I believe. So
they are a Sun Belt Conference team and a very good one, and a team that plays Troy very well. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, especially over there, they have over the years. Of course, Chip Lindsey, you would think, had to know about this at least a week or 2 ago to get ready, I would think, because, I mean, we're looking at the 21st, the 5th. I mean, surely he had more knowledge of this than most. Apparently the Sun Belt officials got involved. The conference commissioner apparently wanted a big marquee game to start the Sun Belt season, and they asked if these two could move their games, because originally Troy was going to play La Monroe in October.
Yeah.
So that happened as well. After that, you'll have an off week. And then you'll go to a very familiar place to Troy fans. I know I've been to at least 4 or 5 games now there. Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Floyd Stadium to play Middle Tennessee State, which, of course, was Troy's rival for many years, the Battle of the Palladium.
Very good program, a very good program.
Of course, they're coached by Rick Stockstill. That's kind of like a Larry Blakeney there. He's been there for like 15 years. We've talked many times about offensive coordinator Tony Franklin. He kind of started Troy's spread offense, and kind of the rest is history. So a lot of familiarity there. And then you travel to Provo, Utah to play the BYU Cougars in LaBelle Edwards Stadium on September 26th. So that's going to be a game that Troy has never played BYU in any athletics that I know of. I don't know if they've ever played basketball or baseball either. So
I think you're right. You're right.
After that, you will travel to Mobile, play in the new Hancock Whitney Stadium. Steve Campbell, the former Troy grad, Kenny Edenfield, the Troy grad, offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, Haystack Stewart. South Alabama, Troy, October the 3rd.
Okay.
After that, you'll have a short week. You'll come back on a Thursday night in front of ESPNU. So that'll be millions of fans that can watch this game against Texas State.
Texas State, but I still, ESPNU and ESPN, some of those stations are hard to find. How do you do it?
I don't know how Troy Cable works. Somebody in the back can tell you what channel it's on, but I know I have ESPNU as a regular channel down here.
Okay. All right.
Also, I have the BYU channel, so I might be able to watch the Troy game on the BYU.
Oh, okay.
Well.
Yeah, okay.
Even though BYU has a major contract with ESPN, so they're saying that's going to be an ESPN game. Troy put 60 on Texas State last year, so I would imagine Colonels. We made that trip up to a Troy State Eastern.
I remember that.
Game. And the star of the game got tied up late, and Aaron Gregory took a kickoff 100 yards for a touchdown. Aaron Gregory from Luverne.
Yeah.
And helped Troy win that game. I'll never forget, we went in the locker room after the game, and it was, players and coaches going crazy.
That's what eating the chicken shack does for you.
That's going to be on October 17th. After that, you've got Georgia State for homecoming. October the 24th. After that, you travel through Memphis to Jonesboro, Arkansas to play Arkansas State on October 31st. That'll be a really good game. Then you go to Georgia Southern in Statesboro. Troy's trying to win 4 in a row against Georgia Southern.
Which is unparalleled, yeah.
That's my wife's alma mater.
After that, you will be back in Troy to play Coastal Carolina. That's a huge revenge game as well. Troy got beat last year in the last seconds by Coastal Carolina. So that's a big game. And then after that, Middle Tennessee State will return the favor and come to Troy. And they'll play Troy on the 21st. And then after that, you got the biggest game of the season. Probably, I would imagine, you got to go to Boone, North Carolina. Elevation's 3,500 feet in Boone, and play at Kidd Brewer Stadium. So maybe playing at BYU that's almost 5,000 feet will help them to go up in Boone later this season. That's your Troy schedule.
Boy, that sounds good. And again, congratulations to Brent Jones, the AD, and his staff, Kyle, and the great group of guys that worked so hard. And there was a lot of off and ons, and the conference commissioners didn't help any. And but Troy ended up doing what one of their major tasks was to actually be able to play 6 home games. But Mike, you're telling me that what kind of seating arrangements does Troy have, or will they talk to us about that today, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, that's supposed to be released today. I mean, the University of Alabama and Auburn have come out, and Auburn's going to have, I think, 20%, which is around 17.5 a game. Alabama's going to have 20%, a little over 20,000 a game. No tailgating allowed at Auburn games. No tailgating allowed at the University of Alabama games. So, be interested to see what they come up with today at Troy.
Well, what are they going to do with all the whiskey bottles, Mike?
I don't know. I mean,
my guess.
I would imagine you're going to have a lot of events surrounding the stadium and all these different places.
And how many more porta toilets do you think they'll have to have?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not going to be the university's issues anymore now.
What do they call that? They got more porta toilets in one area than any place in the country.
Yeah, I can only imagine how packed the Strip will be in Tuscaloosa. All those different bars and restaurants. I mean, I'm sure there'll still be thousands of people around there.
Yeah.
How you social distance, I don't know. Same thing with Auburn as well. The downtown area, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. No question about it. I wonder if they're going to put a limit on where somebody can start tailgating. Will it be a mile away or a half mile away? Or, they've got to...
As long as it's not on the university property, I would imagine anywhere close to that you can.
So look out. People's front yards everywhere.
Yeah, you might have people down at the bottom of Crow Hill.
That's right. You're exactly right. Our own Crow Hill, wherever. But I'm just excited.
University property.
When this came over the wires at around 6:30 last night, I was just elated because not only for myself, because I was looking forward to a big football season with 6 home games, but I was so happy for the Brent Jones, I would call it fairly new athletic director, and of course he didn't surprise me though. I knew that Brent Jones was going to be an outstanding AD when he first stepped on this campus because he just has that way about him, and that positive way, and you could tell every time I talked to him about the schedule, he said, "Hey, we're working on it. Hey, things are looking good," and I'm sure there were a lot of people that were on the schedule and off the schedule, on the schedule and off the schedule. But with the addition of Eastern Kentucky, and that's a good program now, a real good 1AA program, right there with Jacksonville State. It will be playing in Troy to give Troy its 6th game of the season. And if everything goes right with the virus, the COVID-19, we're going to have a football season right here in Troy, Alabama. And, of course, we're excited about it. Forrest?
When's the last time that 2 college teams played home and away? Do you know, Michael?
I don't know, and it might be the only 2.
It happened in the Pac-12 2 years ago.
Okay.
Stanford played Oregon, I believe, in Palo Alto, and then they turned around and played the championship game at Oregon a week later.
Yeah, I'm talking about regular season. I'm wondering when that would be. But
the only time, I remember Florida State played Florida and got beat during the regular season. Did beat Florida in the national championship game in New Orleans, but I don't know about home and home.
You're right. Well, one thing I wanted to mention: the San Diego Padres set a major league record. 4 consecutive games, they hit a grand slam.
Oh man, that is
against the Texas Rangers. It started with Fernando Tatis Jr. Then Will Myers. Tatis is a superstar shortstop, just 21 years of age. Will Myers, who's an outfielder, hit one the next night. Manny Machado, a third baseman, hit one the next night. Then last night, Eric Mosmer, a first baseman. They all hit grand slams 4 consecutive nights.
Oh man, that is quite a record. And that's coming right off of where a player hit 4 straight. Is that right?
I'm not sure about that, but that's Fernando Tatis. He's 21. He's 6'3", 185. He's from from San Pedro de Maros of the Dominican Republic.
He used to play for the Cardinals.
In 26 games, he has 12 home runs, 29 RBIs. He's batting .317 and has scored 25 runs. That's pretty good.
I tell you what, everybody's still buzzing around here on the performance of Stephanie Baker yesterday on our show. I tell you, Mike, was you able to hear her presentation?
Yeah, I was on the phone with her.
But I tell you, she was outstanding, and
I watched some of it on Facebook. I tell you
I've had several people say that they were very impressed, and of course she's is the incumbent running in District 4 of the City of Troy's mayor council race, and of course Jason Reeves is also running for re-election as mayor of the city of Troy. All this will happen next Tuesday, so get ready to go out and vote and do your civic duty.
I saw that cap you had. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, it's a baby blue hat, and looks pretty good. Yeah, especially with what I got on today. Look at the blue, the baby blue.
I was looking at Eastern Carolina's football schedule. They're going to play Marshall on the 5th, which is just right over the line. Then they're going to play West Virginia Neil Brown on the 12th, Citadel on the 26th, and then they're going to play Troy. So that's going to be their 4 games for the fall schedule, and then the rest of their schedule they'll turn around and play in the spring.
Welcome to North Carolina Chapel Hill football, brought to you by our great friends at Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need. Yeah, I just wanted to look like North Carolina, or there's another team playing this week. Well, not this weekend, but the other team is the Citadel. Mike, we were talking about them yesterday. They're baby blue, and you were making a little sort of fun of their program, but they're not so bad in 1AA. But of course, we've got a lot of high school football going on this weekend for us, and we got to tell us a little bit about that.
If you'll hand me that sports page, I can read it to you. But it's flip it over, and it has the schedule. I know.
We also have 2 possible hurricanes forming in the Gulf of Mexico, so that's a lot of fun.
Are they forming in the Gulf of Mexico?
I know TV.
That way.
All right, give us a report on that this morning, if you will. I want to mention
Tropical depressions right now, but they're heading into Florida in the next 3 to 4 days.
the Northside Methodists, who were originally a Alabama Independent School team, is now joined the Alabama High School Athletic Association as a Class 3A competitor, Mike. So Northside Methodists of Dothan will now play a public school schedule.
Well, when I read the first article several months ago in the Dothan Eagle, one of the main reasons they did that is because they can play like 15 schools in their size, 2A, 3A, in a 50-mile radius, as opposed to traveling all over the state of Alabama to play their football, basketball, volleyball schedules.
Exactly.
It's kind of a no-brainer, I guess.
Well, some of the games that are off their schedule now: Monroeville, Auburn, Auburn, Montgomery, Greenville, and Tuscaloosa, and games like that against against Monroe and Lee Scott and Fort Dale. Now they're looking at games against Houston County, Providence, Slocum, Daleville, Cottonwood, Rehoboth, Ashford. Now they can stay closer to home.
They can.
And I believe they'll be competitive, too.
I believe they will. I believe they will.
So congratulations.
We had high school football last night. Fairhope beat Spanish Fort 45-34 in the opener. So apparently Fairhope's got a quarterback that's committed to Duke. A guy named Raleigh Leonard, and Spanish Fort's usually pretty good. I can't remember the last time Fairhope beat Spanish Fort.
That was Brent Bedsoe's team, Mike, Spanish Fort.
TV2, Channel 2, Troy Cable will be viewing the Carroll Ozark is hosting Eufaula tonight.
That's going to be a good
Ozark.
game. No question about it.
That's a tough opener out to play Eufaula.
Troy Cable will be there.
Yeah, and of course the play-by-play group out of Ozark, my good buddy's group will be doing the play-by-play. Well, Wes Peralt, and Wes, if you're listening this morning, give us a call.
It's Les.
I said, what I say, Wes?
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of hard to say, Wes or Les, so either one. But, of course, they've been doing the radio broadcast for years down there. Now they'll be doing the play-by-play live on Troy Cable tonight, starting at 6:45 for the introductory part of it, and kickoff from Matthews Stadium, 7 o'clock sharp.
And
Will Matthews Stadium.
Will Matthews, yeah.
Here's what I have on there. It says Carroll has decided to leave its capacity open and allows many fans to come. Superintendent Dr. Rick McInturf said on normal nights the stadium rarely reaches the 50% level. If needed, he said some home spectators could move to the visitor site if available. Carroll's band will not attend road games. That was in the Dothan paper 2 or 3 days ago.
So no road games for some of these marching bands, then, is that right?
And for Charles Henderson, unlimited.
It is?
Unlimited seating.
That's great.
Everybody come.
All right, now.
Playing in a big old.
Here's your high school scores from last night if you want to hear them.
Okay.
This is Thursday night games.
Don't get too fast.
42. Ardmore 42, Tanner 18. Carbon Hill near Eldridge, home of Roy Crow, my granddad.
And Cotton Clark.
48, Curry 28. Chambers Academy 48, Lee Scott 7. Chambers looks really good.
Stop there a second. Chambers is the defending 2A champion, and they're coached by a guy named Tommy Garrett, Mike, a good friend of mine I grew up with right here in Troy. Of course, he's the head man. I think he's one of the administrative people, but he's one of the assistant coaches and does an outstanding job. I know he's got a big smile on his face. Lee Scott's a big 3A school, and Chambers wore him out last night.
Of course, this is a great program. Colbert County 21, Brooks 7.
Colbert County High School is the home of the Wizard of Oz. Can y'all answer that question?
That Ozzie.
That's right.
Ozzie Newsome, yeah.
Then we already mention, let's see, Coleman 23-0 over Grissom. Fairhope beat Spanish Fort 45-34. Good Hope 47, West Morgan 19. Holtville 21. Southside Selma 20. Jackson Academy 38, Clark Prep 14.
That team and both those teams are on Pike County's schedule, Mike. Both Chambers and Jackson Academy both on Pike's schedule.
Jasper 30, Mars Hill Bible 20. Lauderdale County 20, Lexington 7. Northside 27, Berry 7. Pike Road 63, Montgomery Catholic 34.
And that's with a freshman quarterback.
That is telling me something right there, because of course Catholic coming off their best year maybe in their history, and they got walloped by a school that's right next door, a big rival, and of course Catholic will do well. I'm not sure if that was a real game or not. How can you tell, Mike, whether or not it was a game that would count on the schedule?
I think Parks Crossing starts a freshman quarterback.
It's just showing scores on AL.com. Charles from Reeltown 27, Tallahassee 21 in overtime.
All right, wait a minute. You mean Reeltown came back and beat Tallahassee last night?
Yeah, 27-21 in overtime.
And those are two schools right next to each other. Tallahassee's a 5A school and a good one.
Yeah, Goshen plays Reeltown this year. They're in the same region.
And so does Pike County.
Pike County, yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got Rogers 35. They played a team called Richland out of Tennessee. They beat them 35-19. Russellville 28. Decatur 0. Wow.
Russellville is always good, Mike. And I will date back a little bit here. I want to say it was 1969. Charles Henderson played Russellville in Russellville for the state championship, and lost on a last-second field goal as the gun went off, 10-7. And of course Russellville went on to win 30. That year went on to win 34 straight games.
Ooh.
All right, then you've got Spain Park 52. Huntsville 21, so they blew out Fleetwood last night.
Yeah, I hate that for my buddy.
Trinity 24, Alabama Christian 7.
All right, those Trinity's on Pike County's and Goshen's schedule, I think. You know, Goshen moves up to 3A, is that right?
Yeah. And then you had Tuscaloosa County 35, Paul Bryant 0. Two Tuscaloosa schools playing there. Vinemont 31, Hansfield 30. That was a good game. And then you had Williamson out of Mobile playing LaFleur. This game went into overtime. Williamson won 14-12.
Williamson comes to
Williamson's in Charles Henderson's schedule, yeah.
And this game is close to my family. Fayette County. Walden Tucker back as the head coach. Played Winfield last night, but the fans from Fayette were not happy. Got beat 26-6.
Oh boy, and that was Walden Tucker, who at one time was the winningest high school coach in Alabama. Started back coaching again.
That's correct. So that's
He's got to be 70.
Your games from last night.
Yeah, and I'm thinking not all of them. I don't know if all of them were actual either jamborees or regular season games. We'll have to find out later on about that. Forrest, tell us a little bit about what's going on tonight. Charles Henderson travels all the way up to Marbury for
It'll be a jamboree, and we read last week in the paper that Charles Henderson, to begin with, early in the season, is going to play a lot of kids both ways, about 7. That's what the paper said, but it'll be a challenge, rebuilding, so to speak. They've got a lot of inexperienced players. They've lost some players who transferred to other schools, so it'll be
two names that are very familiar that they lost are Division I type athletes. One of them was Geis, and the other one was Northcutt. And the other one was Baker, I think, the big lineman.
Well, they got one kid, I cannot remember his name. I wish I had their roster. He's about 6'5" or 6'6".
Yeah, that's Baker, I think. Ooh. Yeah. And of course, they have really lost several players to Pike Liberal Arts. They've transferred to Pike Liberal Arts.
Here's
and of course, we want to mention this weekend, a lot going on. Troy University will have their second scrimmage of the year, and as we said just a few moments ago, they opened the season on September the 5th with a game against Sunbelt Conference foe Louisiana Monroe. That should be one outstanding conference opening game. In fact, one of the best openers I can remember Troy having in a while. And we'll be watching their schedule as we speak. And of course, with most all of these schools out there that are available to play, we'll be playing tonight. And so we'll touch on some of that later on. We've got some guests coming in our second segment of our show, and we'll be introducing those folks to you in just a few moments. Any other news that we need to forward on to the people watching our show today, Forrest?
Not this time. I think our guests will be here for about 20 to 30 minutes or so.
We'll bring them in
how long they
moments.
can be.
And, of course, Major League Baseball's still going on. The NBA playoffs are going on. A lot going on. You got the FedEx Cup playoffs going on up in, I say they're playing somewhere in Boston or somewhere right now. But so that's some good golf to watch this weekend as well.
Yeah. Of course, a couple of Russell Henry and the other kid, English, are both Georgia golfers, aren't they?
Yeah, right now the leader is Charles Howell III.
Yeah, he's an older guy.
Yeah, he's been playing a long time.
Yeah, I know it. I'm glad to see him do well.
Tiger shot 300 yesterday. Justin Thomas shot 300 yesterday. This is Northern Trust, TPC Boston. So first round of the FedEx Cups. Oh, and look who just tied for the lead, the great Bubba Watson.
But hey, listen, don't you be talking about Bubba. He's my favorite golfer. Don't you be talking about Bubba Watson. He's my favorite golfer. He doesn't have to answer to anybody.
How would you like to be a Georgia golf coach and have this leaderboard right now? You got Bubba Watson played at Georgia. Kevin Kistner played at Georgia. Russell Henley played at Georgia. Harris English played at Georgia.
Isn't that amazing?
Brian Harmon played at Georgia. That's your top 8 right now.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? All of those guys, yeah.
All of those guys, and that's not even counting that Brendan Todd's had the best season of any of them.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he is on the leaderboard, but Georgia golf is unbelievable.
Yeah. Unless you watch golf much, these are not household words. English, Stillman, Davis, Henley, Lewis Gustafson, Hoffman, Piercy, Bubba Watson's, of course, well known. Kisner, pretty well known. Munoz, Sebastian Munoz, Matthew Wolf. Half these guys, you don't even know who they are.
Matthew Wolf's like one of the new phenom golfers out of Oklahoma State.
And Ian Poulter is one of your older guys.
Out of University of Alabama, the kid from Mobile, Robbie Shelton, shot 500 yesterday, so he had a good round.
And so he sure did, and a very good.
All of these guys have already gotten their tour cards though for the next year, so they're basically just trying to get to Atlanta to play in the FedEx Cup Championship. So that would have been a lot of fun for people to travel to Atlanta to watch that, but no fans will be allowed.
All right, Mike, we're going to go on break right now. We're going to bring in our guest today, and looking forward to that, and we'll be back with you in just a moment.
We've been doing business the right way for 31 years, and now we've approached a year at the all-new Bill Jackson Ford. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
I would recommend Bill Jackson to friends and family. Environment was just friendly.
It's a short drive from anywhere.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson Satisfaction.
Donella. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we got a little Pike County High School look and a little Goshen High School look. And whoever did that new decal knew what he was doing, Mark. On that Goshen look. Of course, Dr. Donella Carter is with us today. Good to see you, my friend.
You too.
And of course, well, I'm sorry, gosh,
no worries.
Being politically correct.
Did you shake her hand?
Yeah, you're right. And of course, Mark Head. I've known Mark, like I said, ever since he was first brought into this world by Emily and Ronnie Head, my good friends. Busy time. Y'all open school Monday, is that right?
We do open Monday for our traditional students, and yes, busy, yeah. I'm going to say is a euphemism.
Yeah. I'm going to slide you in just a little bit so we can catch you on that mic. All right, right there, that's fine.
All right.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is a time of year where we are getting more and more excited because Monday kids start to school. I've got Dr. Mark Head with us today, and Dr. Donella Carter, and tell us about the opening of school.
So,
in Pike County.
In Pike County. So school opens on Monday the 24th for our traditional students. This year we have a new category, a couple different categories of traditional and virtual students. So our traditional students will start on Monday.
And that's going to the classroom, is that right?
That's correct. Those are the students that are going to the school building for instruction, what we call face-to-face. And then on Wednesday, the 26th, virtual students will begin their instruction.
Yeah. And now, how many students will you allow to be regular students?
Well, we don't really have a cap.
I mean, are they identified before they come to class, or how does that work?
That's correct. Back over the summer, we asked parents to complete a survey to kind of let us know if they were thinking about sending their students back to the building,
yeah,
or if they were planning to allow them to attend from home. So that's kind of how we got our numbers. We needed those numbers to try to ensure as much distancing as we could. You know, it's all about keeping everyone safe, and so we needed those numbers in advance.
All right, are we talking about kids or children from kindergarten all the way to the 12th grade? Is that, who y'all are involved with?
That's correct. Students actually pre-K through 12th grade.
And of course they all start to school on Monday, and again, explain virtual.
So virtual instruction is where students remain home and our teachers provide their instruction online.
Do they have to have a computer, is that right?
That's correct. They have to have a device.
A device.
They have to have a device, a computer, a tablet, or something. Pretty much if you can get to the internet, you can get to the platforms we'll be using for instruction.
Are they provided this device?
Students that have demonstrated or said to us that they're in need of a device, we're actually in the process now of getting those devices distributed to them.
And training them or letting them know how to use it, is that right?
That is correct.
Mark Head, of course, grew up right here in Troy, Alabama, and of course been with the county school system how long?
Total of 20 years now.
20 years now, and of course, what is your position?
I'm administrative assistant to the superintendent. Primary areas of responsibility are prevention, support, and special education.
I think we spread out pretty good. We've got the Pike County helmet, Goshen helmet.
So what do the percentages look like for students that will actually attend class, and then students that will stay at home as far as online? What do y'all's percentages look like so far?
We're about half and half right now.
It's almost down the middle, 50-50, maybe leaning a little bit.
That is really surprising. I live down here in Florida, and it seems like everybody is sending their kids back to school down here. I would have thought that more students would have gone back to the actual classroom.
Right.
Were y'all surprised by these numbers?
A little bit. It's actually leaning a little more toward virtual in the last few days as we numbers have settled down and new enrollees have come in, and so it was a little surprising.
It was a little surprising. Our high schools are about 60% virtual and 40% face-to-face, and then our elementaries are about 50-50.
Yeah. And you call face-to-face, that means that kids that do come to class.
Correct. They come to class.
So forth. And, I know this is something, Mark, that not only have we not faced here in Pike County, Alabama, but the world or the nation. This is something that has been brought on and it has definitely shown its effect on our school system. But it seems like y'all got a plan, and that's what's important. And if you can fulfill this plan, we're in great shape. But a lot of it has to do with this COVID-19. I mean, how is it going to get better, or is it going to get worse, or we're going to have to live with it for a while?
That is correct. We've written a plan, and we're going to do our best to implement it, go by it. We believe it's a good plan that's going to provide good instruction to our students, whether they're in the buildings or whether they're at home. Obviously, that plan would have to be adjusted. It depends on the climate. It depends on how well our county is, how people are doing, and we're prepared to make the necessary adjustments.
Mark, Dr. Brazil, of course, you've been with him a long time, and he's one of the more innovative superintendents in the whole country, not just in Alabama. I mean, they teach you how to be a pilot to fly an airplane at Pike County High School. Teach you how to be a banker. You have your own bank. I don't know how many schools have that, It's a very innovative program, and y'all going to be able to keep most of those programs alive?
We are. We've actually got an increase in numbers in the different academies. Mr. Jeff McClure supervises those, and he's had to work through, we've got partnerships with Troy University, of course, and Enterprise Community College and Wallace of Huntsville, and they're dealing with the same things that we are at the K-12, in the K-12 world. And so he's had to navigate with them then to mesh what we're doing so they can do that. But we have a number of students that are, one of them being my daughter actually, and Dr. Carter's son, that actually started classes at Troy on Wednesday, and then next week they'll mesh into what their high school classes are, and we've had to make those worlds come together. But so far, so good.
Y'all been around this, of course, by being able to go to college, be in high school and take college courses. Well, some of these kids start college as sophomores or even juniors. I mean, they've taken so many classes from the university.
That's correct. And most of the programs we have, they actually finish high school with both a high school diploma and associate's degree from college.
Dr. Carter, you've got a brand new facility and tell us about that on Highway 231 and how y'all plan to use that.
Yes, we actually moved in last year. It's our Center for Advanced Academics and Accelerated Learning, and we use that primarily. It houses our STEM education program. As you know, we have a middle school as well as a high school STEM program. So it houses the middle school, that is the children that come day to day into that building. Yeah. But it also serves as a place for all of these dual enrollment students we've talked about to land. Yeah. We have facilitators that work with them. As you know, college classes can be challenging, especially when you're talking about 15 and 16-year-old kids taking college courses. And so we do have facilitators that help them with their studies and ensure that they're on track and that kind of thing. So it's a place for those students to land and get the support that they need as well.
Now, how do they apply for this extended, college program?
The programs, so we start taking application in the spring of their 9th grade year.
Yeah.
And we do have minimum requirements that students need to meet, and there's a selection process that they have to go through. We obviously don't want to make this kind of an investment and not have students do well. So we do take a lot of time in selecting students, those that we believe would be very successful in these programs.
No question about it. Now, Mark, there are going to be certain rules, and you can add to this, Dr. Carter. One thing is how will we handle the face mask? I mean, will that be something that is required, or how does that work?
It is going to be required for all students and faculty and staff from second grade up, Dr. Carter? Second grade up is required, encouraged for pre-K, K, and 1, but it is going to be required. We have, Dr. Bazell, you mentioned him being innovative. He has already reached out, and we've had committee meetings with local medical professionals and people from the hospital to determine what the most effective things we could do would be. And bar none, the biggest deterrent in all of this, they have said, is wearing the masks and, of course, the distancing as much as they can.
Now, y'all going to furnish the mask, or will they have to furnish their own mask?
They can choose to wear their own mask, but we do have masks.
Yeah.
Actually, the State Department of Education provided some masks, and then, of course, as the local school system, we purchased several.
Some masks are more comfortable than others. Like this one is comfortable. It's light, and and it, you know, and it seems like it does the job. But are you required to wear a certain mask?
Not a certain type of mask, whether it's disposable or reusable, but we are asking parents to that provide the mask. We prefer school-related colors or school-themed masks or solid colors. Students cannot wear masks that have a lot of messaging on them. We don't want to get into that arena.
I understand that.
Yes. So
Now, during the wear.
I got a question about the classroom. I was curious about, so when you're doing virtual compared to actually attending class, is the camera going to be on the actual teacher at the time, like where the kids, if they're on Zoom, can participate in answering questions and like kind of be a part of the classroom with their other classmates, or is it going to be one of those type things that later in the day the teacher will have to basically video something for those kids that are online, or is everything taking place at one time in the classroom for the online and the actual kids attending class?
Well, there's a lot of it depends, honestly. We're trying to stagger.
It seems like a lot of extra work on the teacher, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, in some cases, it's going to be. And now they have stepped up. We've got a tremendous faculty and staff. They've stepped up. We've been training for 2 weeks now. And essentially everybody's a first-year teacher this year. But we're trying to do stagger out those times of the online classes, different grade levels, for a couple of reasons. One is if we go live, of course, it takes up a lot of bandwidth. And some of the areas that we're getting to, that could be a problem. We've got some homes with 2 or 3 students that are sharing a device or a couple of devices. So we've tried to take that into consideration so that they wouldn't be on at the same time. But there'll be times where the teachers may video the lesson, and then the platform we're using, they put up, the work will be in there along with sometimes some videos, some things like that. There's sometimes there'll be live instruction. It's really going to be dictated by the subject matter in the class.
Yeah.
Another thing we've done to alleviate some of that extra work, as you alluded to, on the teachers, is at the elementary school, we've identified teachers who are virtual versus those who are traditional. Because we were trying to alleviate teachers having to do both, honestly. But at the high schools, unfortunately, the way some of those schedules run, there are some teachers that are having to do both. So we're making the best of it.
Yeah. All right, now let's.
Of course, the high school lost a good buddy of mine who did a great job there. Willie Wright has moved on from the high school. Who's the new principal out there?
So the new principal is Dr. Charles Corbett. Dr. Corbett comes to us from Dothan, Alabama, as an experienced administrator. And he's gotten in this summer, and he's learned everything, as best he could, and assimilated himself. And we believe Dr. Corbett's going to do a great job there. But we do miss your friend Willie as well.
Some days.
Now, let me add, all right, we talked about face masks, but now how about checking for fever, and some of these other requirements?
Yes, we've actually got, we invested in some tents that will go up at all the schools. There'll be 3 tents at every school with the exception of Banks, where there will be 2 at each of the Banks campuses. 1 tent for students, 1 for faculty and staff. And they'll be temperature screened every morning and go through the COVID-related questions.
Okay, I call them a fever gun, and it's a wonderful invention. I mean, and they stick it right for, and they check your temperature. What if the temperature is high, and what do y'all clarify as being high?
Well, if it comes up high the first time, we're going to sit them in a shaded area for a minute and then check again because, you know, it's warm outside.
Sure.
Then if it's at, I believe 101 is where, 102. 100.3. 100.3. Okay, 100.3. Then what they do is they'll go into, we have also are in the process of building some isolation areas where they'll go. Then the school nurses will take over and assess them and call for parents if needed.
And
now, okay.
The scanners you mentioned, we're going to start with those. The scanners that look like guns, we'll start with utilizing those. But we've actually invested in thermal scanners where kids will walk.
They basically just walk up and it's like a big iPad.
All right, now again, let me clarify this now. So if they are high, do you send them home, or you send them home? Mm-hmm. Now, there's a big difference, a big logistics factor here. What am I going to mention now? Not like, I mean, you're the county school, so you bus students. How are you going to handle the bus routes and so forth, and how many people per bus can ride?
Well, with the, and that was a challenge.
Logistics.
But what we're going to do with the buses is, well, number one, we expect to, of course, reduce load just by the fact that about half the kids are staying home.
Yeah.
So that reduces load right there.
And many have indicated they'll bring
that they're going to. Yeah, many of their company space have said they're going to bring their children. But those that are riding buses, we will. The bus drivers will first not allow them. They have to have a mask to get on the bus, or if they don't have one, we'll provide one for them then. And we're going to load from the back of the bus forward, which is a little different than the way we used to do it. But that way, it cuts down on the traffic of children passing each other.
Yeah.
And so we'll load from the back forward, and we'll unload from the front to the back that way.
We're asking families to sit together.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the bus driver that's picking up these children or these kids is trained and taught about what to expect, and of course where they load and unload.
Yes.
When they're seated, how far can they be? Is it still 6 feet, or how does that work?
We're going to attempt to do the 6 feet. We'll do as much as possible, depending on how many children are on the bus.
So you could have double. You might have to have 2 buses where you at one time had 1 bus.
Correct,
is that right?
And we're looking at that. In the past, the children that go to Banks, once they finish at Banks, they go to Pike County High for 9th through 12th grade. And in the past, what's happened is they get to Banks, they get off and they swap buses. Well, we've rearranged all that, so we have direct buses where there's not any swapping.
And our drivers have also been trained in the proper sanitizing techniques.
Exactly.
So they'll be sanitizing those buses between loads every
so,
time the kid's off.
So, and of course, this is something that, that really going to be, going to have its good points and bad points at the same time.
What is Banks? Is Banks kindergarten through what?
8th grade. Through 8th grade.
Pre-K through 8.
Oh, pre-K through 8? Wow, okay. I didn't realize that.
Now, and another thing, how about testing? Will y'all do any testing, or will the county health department do testing, or what will happen?
We're working to put together a surge team that if we have some of those symptoms, or even if we get someone back that we know got a positive test on their own, to set up rapid testing for those that would have been within the 6 feet, 15-minute bubble. But we will direct them to when we're working on those partnerships now.
So you will wear the mask all day if you're in that school. Teachers too?
Yes,
Teachers
sir.
also. Yes,
Teachers also, and you can't take them off. Is that right?
We'll have a couple of times in the day where they can spread out a little bit and maybe get a mask
break
break
for a little bit.
outside
for recess?
Yes, sir.
Well, one of your favorite things, because you're an All-American at it, was the marching band, Pike County's marching band, and hit on the band program and the athletic program.
So what we're doing in talking about busing, one thing we're doing is providing additional buses for our team to travel.
Sure.
To ensure that we have distancing there. Unfortunately, we're not allowing our band nor cheerleaders to participate in away games.
Okay.
But they can participate in home games. You know, the more you can do to reduce the spread, the better off we're all going to be. And so those measures are designed to reduce spread.
Is that that's your rule, or is this a state rule?
That's
this
our
is the Pike County Schools
Pike County rules and so forth. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Dr. Carter and Dr. Head and Mark Head and Delana Carter, and I appreciate y'all coming in this morning. You have enlightened not only hopefully the people watching, but so that we'll pass the word on and so forth. So, you know, this is something we're going to have to. It's going to be with us for a while. Is that right?
We think so. You know, as Dr. Zell has said, we've got to learn to do the best we can with it, as he feels like, and of course we agree with him that we're going to be living with it until we find either a therapeutic or a vaccine. So
another very important aspect is feeding these kids, and a lot of them eat in the morning and at lunch. How are you going to do that, and what are your rules?
So this year, what we've decided to do, again, we talked about reducing spread. Our students will be eating in the classroom. Their breakfast will
that's new.
It is very new.
Yeah, okay.
Breakfast will be brought to them in the classroom, and then when it's lunchtime, lunch will be served in the classroom as well. We're eliminating areas where students gather. In the mornings, where typically they gather and wait for a bell to ring when they report to campus, and after they've completed their health screening, they will go directly to their homeroom or their first block class. There will be no gathering and waiting around, that kind of thing.
I hate to use this word again, testing. Do y'all administer testing, or how does that work?
Well, we will, and we're working with the team now. Dr. Head's been more involved in that.
Right, we're working to get that together. Right now, we would send them to either the hospital or one of the locations here that we're working with, but we hope to get to a point where we can have a team come to the schools to do testing.
And then, of course, the ones that are positive will have to go home or go to a place where they can be...
they have to quarantine.
Yeah.
But right now, the guidance is if you're positive, it's...
isolate.
Yeah, to isolate. Yeah, if you come out positive, you have to isolate for... quarantine, isolate for 10 days plus 24 hours without fever.
All right, so you'll have just brief periods during the morning and the afternoon where they can actually walk outside and take this mask off.
They'll be able to take the mask off.
Yeah.
We're encouraging mask breaks.
All right, now what if a kid does not have a mask or can't afford a mask? Do you give them out on the bus, or what do you do?
We'll have a few. They're not, in a limitless supply, so we're encouraging parents to help kids to remember their mask. But obviously, if we're requiring them, we are prepared to issue a mask. Now, we can't issue a mask every day to the same kid.
Exactly.
But we do have a supply of those, and so we're prepared to do whatever we have to do.
Do you wear?
Is that something like if the public could help out? I mean, if somebody can make masks and donate masks to Pike County schools, I mean, would that be something y'all would take in, or do y'all have enough?
Oh, certainly. We would certainly take them in. We have enough for now, but we don't know how long we're going to be needing to use the mask, and so certainly any donations would be appreciated. But as I mentioned, the State Department did provide masks for all students and staff, and then we on our own have purchased masks. So for now, we're okay, but certainly any donations would definitely be appreciated.
All right, let me ask you this.
Are any of the teachers, I've noticed down here in Florida, a lot of the teachers are wearing like the little plexiglass shields over their face. Do y'all have those?
We do have shields for our staff, and they can wear the shields, but they have to wear the shields with the mask.
Yeah, very important. Okay. Do you put this mask on when you get on the bus? So on the bus, you got to have this mask on.
Yes, sir.
Or you get off the bus. Is that right, or how does it work?
Well, we'll provide them with one on the bus if they don't have one, or in the worst case scenario, if there's not any buses, there'll be not any masks for the bus. There's a section in the bus that will be set up for those students that have one.
We're talking about Goshen High School. These rules are adhered by Goshen and Pike County High School.
Yes,
that's the two markets that we're talking about. How many buses are out there? regularly during the regular. We didn't have the virus. How many buses would have been out on the road?
I'm not even sure now. A bunch, I can tell you that.
All right, now have y'all,
I'd say 60 or 70 or so across the county.
Yeah.
have y'all had to buy or lease more buses and more drivers?
Thankfully, on the bus side, we had enough because we had a few reserves, and we've had enough. We've got enough buses. Drivers, we are always looking for.
Now I might break down in tears. We all have watery eyes this time of year, but some of these kids get on the bus as early as 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the truth. Getting on the bus in North Pike County as early as 5:30. Is that right?
We think.
I don't think it's. I think 6 now.
All right, 6 o'clock, but 6 o'clock. And a lot of these kids will stay on the bus all the way until they get to Goshen High School. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And right now, and these rules have to be adhered to, or you can't operate. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's correct.
And
it's better to be able to sit on a bus than have to walk like you do in Troy.
You're exactly right. I hope they hear this morning. Their kids in Troy, they have to walk from Montgomery Street to the.
If you're having to walk to school, I don't think that's good for anybody.
Yeah. But of course, this is just another aspect of your program, and y'all are very innovative and have done a super job. You've got a great faculty, and so y'all are ready to go. Is that right?
We're ready to go.
We're ready.
You fired up, Mark? You fired up, my friend?
At this point, it's to that point where we've done about all the preparing we can do. We just need to put the pedal to the metal and see what happens.
All right. Have I not asked you some questions? Again, make clear what we've accomplished here this morning.
We're ready to see students on Monday the 24th. We're excited about that. It's a challenge for us, but we're optimistic. We're ready to teach. This is not going to be a wasted year. It's going to be full of learning opportunities, so we're excited about that. We are asking parents to know what the safety protocols are. We didn't mention that we'd like for parents, if they could, even before kids leave home, just to take their temperatures as well. Then that way you have a peace of mind as a parent, knowing that you've sent them out, feeling pretty well. So,
but before they walk into those doors every day, their fever's checked. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Just like I was telling at UAB Hospital in Birmingham, they would not let us walk to another area unless they got that. And then they're going to shut you down.
That's right.
And we do ask them about those other symptoms that the CDC, everything we're doing is in line with the CDC. And so we'll be asking them those questions every morning as well about their symptoms.
And you're going to learn a lot as you go. Is that right? And you'll probably reevaluate during the school year. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can.
Athletics on the sideline. I mean, Coach Holland and his team, will you have to wear it? Will all the coaches be wearing a mask on the sidelines during the game as well?
They're following the Athletic Association guidelines, and I'm not certain about what all of those are. But whatever the Athletic Association has said is a mandate to play the games. That's what our coaches and students will be doing.
Okay.
I don't know if
I'd read different stories about even the players that were not in the games would have to be wearing masks, and the coaches as well. So I didn't know what was going to happen when it came to that.
I'm not sure.
Mark, let me ask you this. You can answer it or not answer it. The people that do elect to homeschool, what is the limit? What's the limit on grades on that? Can they homeschool all the way up to their senior year or what?
Yeah.
Well, as it is right now, this is being provided through December until we reassess. Is what the state's providing for the virtual schooling. Now, on the homeschooling that we've always had available, they could elect to do that all the way through, and we even offer a version of homeschooling before all this happened, which has helped us a little bit on the 9 through 12 side of it. We had started a couple years ago providing or offering a virtual option for 9th through 12th grade already, so it's helped us a little bit there. But yes, they can go all the way through 12th grade.
But the certifications have to come through the Pike County board and so forth. Boy, it's been great to have you here this morning.
Homeschool kids can also still play athletics, can't they?
Correct.
They can.
Yes. As long as they meet the eligibility on the grades and all that stuff. It's the same eligibility there, but they can't participate.
All right, let me ask this. If one of your students decided they wanted to go to Goshen, would they have to be living in a Goshen area, or how would that work?
Either be living in the Goshen area, or they can pay tuition.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Are you, of course, this is sort of a dumb question, but are your numbers down?
Not right now, I don't
Is
think
that
so.
wonderful?
In fact, I think we're holding steady, or maybe even have grown by a few.
Now, at home, that marching band can be in the stands, but they can't go out on the field. Is that right? Or how does that work?
I think they're going to be allowed, the last guidance I read from the Athletic Association is that they will be allowed to take the field after everyone else has cleared the field. The Athletic Association is very specific on how they come and go.
Well, that's great. Who do y'all open up with?
I don't even know now. We've changed to a region only, so you can.
Who does Pike County open up with, Forrest? I will look that up, but of course.
Well, you got Goshen 3A and Pike County 3A this year.
Yeah, that's something that in the same region, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's going to be a big game between those two.
Absolutely.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, again, I know you guys got to get back to your meetings and so forth, but so far so good, and you're ready to go. Is that right?
We're ready to go, and we're super proud of our teachers. As Dr. Head alluded to, they've been in training since Wednesday of last week, and it's been a lot of training that they've had. But oh my goodness, they've been troopers. We couldn't be more proud of them and the new learning that they've had to have, and they're already ready to go and implementing it. So we're excited about the start of the year.
Now, y'all transport some students during the day to different facilities. Now, will that change much? Will they go by bus or their own car, or how does it work?
They go by bus, those that go between the new building, the CA3L as we call it, and between those, they'll go by bus, but what we have done this year is they won't commingle like we won't have when they come for the STEM program, for example. They used to group together by grade levels across the county, would come together. Well, now we're keeping them separated by school to prevent any cross-contamination with it.
My son's favorite thing in high school was to go to the canteen at midday. Are y'all going to have that?
They will have snacks again.
Can I get a Snicker anywhere?
Well,
a Snicker bar?
I don't know, the sneakers are
so the regulations won't allow that.
Yeah, our nutritional guidelines. But
I thought you were going to say your son's favorite thing was to sneak out and go eat lunch.
That's what you're trying to do, yeah.
Yeah, but they'll be able to have snack again delivered to their spaces.
That's great. Well, that's great. And but so there will be opportunities to go outside and take this thing off and whatever.
Yes, sir. Yes,
but again, hey, it's not just your rules; it's the rules of COVID-19.
That's right.
To fight this thing, and I think y'all have definitely stood up and have met this thing full force, and looks like we're ready to go at Goshen and at Pike County and at Banks. Is that right?
We are ready to go.
And of course, again, we pray for all of you and on this, and hopefully the Lord will bless us, and we'll be out of this thing before we know it.
I hope so.
With a vaccine, and but again, you still got to deal with this, regardless of a vaccine. Everybody that doesn't get vaccinated, you got to watch for all of them.
That's right.
And of course, again, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.
You've been very, very helpful and very informative, and Forrest Lee had a lot to do with getting you guys in here. You educators stick with each other. Of course, Mark goes way back in education. You've been in education a long time yourself, haven't you?
Yes, this is year 28 for me.
28. Well, that's wonderful, and you're a classy lady, and you all are doing a super job. Until Dr. My good buddy, he just continues to do great things for our school system, and I remember when he played right field for the Troy University Trojans, and was a good one.
Absolutely.
He came from Florida. I want to say Panama City.
That's right.
See, I remember those things, and I can't remember my name sometimes.
I understand.
But we'll again appreciate y'all coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, and if you have any questions about any of this, you call the superintendent's office, Dr. Brazil,
or their schools,
and the schools, and you got to be informative, and you got to follow the rules. And if you follow the rules, this thing's not going to be as hard. But what I worry about is people that don't follow the rules and get in trouble.
Right, and we also want to refer them to our website. We have a COVID-19 section resource center on our website where we have a FAQ document that we update daily. So if they can't get us by phone, if they'll go to the website, a lot of answers are there.
Are y'all in uniforms? Do y'all wear? So that makes it easier too. So you won't have to be worried about they're properly dressed. Did I miss anything, Mark?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
And of course, you parents, it's up to you to help these people here teach these young people who go by the rules, and I'm sure it's going to be cut dry. Wear your mask to enter the facility, have your fever checked, and you're off and going on a school day. But every other day is not going to work, is it? It's got to be every day, doesn't it?
Every day. Yes.
Okay. And are you going to be
y'all have a good school year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so
We're
much.
going to take a short break. We'll be back with more of Today in L.A. Thank you so much, my friends.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
A personal touch. A high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they said Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson Satisfaction.
All right, give me Bart's number, Mike, or call Bart, whatever.
I can't.
Back to our show, brought to you by A1 Services, our good friend Terry Moats, ladies and gentlemen, for air conditioning. Bless your hearts if you don't have air conditioning. Call him today, and he'll be there. And I tell you, he's been one of my sponsors for a long time, and if you call him, he'll be there. You can believe what he says. And of course, for air conditioning and heating, A1 Services. I want to mention also Southeast Alabama Gas District, located with home offices in Andalusia. Greg does a super job with that program. There are numerous offices around Southeast Alabama, including Troy, Alabama. And, of course, a lot of folks are moving toward gas. Have you noticed they've really been out there putting gas lines down everywhere?
They have.
And all sections, you got to sort of ask for it. And you know what? If you ask for gas, I think it's if you get enough people hooking on, you can get it. You know?
Sir. Yes, sir.
No question about it. Are you on gas or?
Well, I've tried a couple of times and was unsuccessful, but I'm going to try again. I'd like to have gas logs and possibly a gas hookup for a grill.
Well,
but,
let me ask this.
I've tried twice,
Yeah.
and I live on Emerald Drive in Country Club and was unsuccessful both times.
Yeah.
The second time,
So they don't have gas on your street?
they had it, but they couldn't get to me in 6 weeks because they were so busy putting in new
that's
stuff.
right.
I said, well, my hot water heater is leaking, and I've got to have a hot water heater
Oh, man.
rather than electric. I wanted to put in gas, but they couldn't service me.
Yeah.
So I went back to electric.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get that straight.
Big Ten, all these teams are trying to find a way to play this year. It's not going to happen. The Big Ten commissioner keeps on shutting down these 6 schools that are trying to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something that
all the parents of all these different teams are going to have a big rally and protest.
you know what you're gonna find out before long.
Out there,
you know,
lose his job is what's going to happen.
that's exactly what. That's exactly. Let me tell you something. Who's bigger? The presidents of Ohio State, Nebraska, Penn State, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Michigan. Hey, they're a lot bigger than this guy over that Big Ten commission. You know, they can start there. That bunch right there could start their own conference overnight if they wanted to.
Well, they're talking about winter football now instead of spring in the Big Ten. So I guess it'd start right in January. So.
And look, I'd like to talk to somebody from Jacksonville State and find out how they feel about playing 4 games during the fall, and then they'll play 8 games in the spring, or how will they do that?
Yeah, that's the conference, like the OVC, decided not to play in the fall and move to a spring season. So these teams need to make money.
Exactly.
And play as many big boys, I guess you would say, as they can. So I don't know how in the world these players are going to last that long practicing from August to play 4 games and then turn around and then play a spring season starting, I guess, around early February, I guess.
And I'll tell you right now, unless they get a bunch of money from television, I don't see how even Florida State can pay that full price. You know how they used to pay $1.2 million, $1.3 million, $1.5 million. Some of them would pay that kind of money. I don't think they can do it now with the situation is that their ticket allowance has to be hurt bad. Wouldn't you say?
Well, if it's going to be cut,
I mean, like you're a Big Ten fan, and let's just say you're a Big Ten fan, and there's not going to be any football. Would you buy tickets?
Not for the Big Ten, but you know, I think the Southeastern Conference is going to balance itself out.
Yeah,
when you add 2 SEC games, and the TV money is going to go up, the ads are going to go up, so I think the Southeastern Conference will be okay financially.
Even though they play 5 games at home and 5 games on the road.
The money market for television will make it worth their while.
It might even be more, no question about it.
Well, this will be great for Vegas if the Big Ten starts on January the 1st, like they're talking about. So they'll start in the new year. They'll play 8 conference games through January and February and have the Big Ten championship game in early March. So I'll tell you who will like this more than anybody is Vegas.
I tell you who's going to hate it and going to raise hell about it is your basketball people, your basketball coaches. Some of these schools are huge. Michigan State is huge in basketball, Mike, and they're trying to cut them down.
Ohio State, Michigan.
I know it. I mean, what I'm saying, what are they going to do? They're not going to sit there and just twiddle their fingers. They're going to say, "Hey, how about us?" You know, and
well, you still have your March
Madness. Maybe I've said this all along. I know I'm a broken record, but I've said that we ought to wait till November to start, or they could even start January 1st, and then have football.
They're waiting till October. Most schools are.
Yeah, and then of course throw basketball in there, throw them a bone, stick them in there in the winter time. And then maybe catch baseball in April instead of February. I could understand that. And
baseball now. I mean, shoot, it doesn't even finish until June.
Yeah.
It's amazing how long a baseball season lasts.
Yeah. And what do you do with all the talent that you've signed? And
apparently you're going to get this as a free year, so maybe you can play these guys as much as you want to this year, and they'll still be considered freshmen next year. How crazy is that?
Let me tell you what his buddy, he loves this guy, Lane Kiffin. He loves him. And Lane Kiffin told the Big Ten the other day, he said, look, let's work on some kind of transfer rule. Could you see the starting lineup for Ohio State transferring to Ole Miss? Hey, they would start kicking butt then, wouldn't you think?
I mean, a lot of this is players contacting him.
Yeah.
I mean, guys that he
That's what I'm saying.
or guys that he had knowledge of that they're probably calling and saying, hey, Coach, I want to be able to play in the fall. How can you get me at your school?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. And get them a year eligibility. It's crazy.
If Justin Fields would go to LSU, LSU would probably go from, I don't know where they were. They'd be the number 3 or number 2.
They would be you're right. They would probably go back to Division I with Justin Fields as their quarterback. And
I mean, they're not Division I. They'd go to maybe top 2, top 3 in the country going into the season.
If you could pick, and I'll ask Forrest this thing, so same thing, the one quarterback in the nation to build your program around, who would it be? The number one quarterback. Who?
Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, probably.
You had long, stringy-headed guy from Clemson. I think he blew it. I don't think you're going to see him being there as effective.
I still can't get past the national championship game against Alabama the way he looked.
I was there. It was not fun to watch.
Yeah. I'll tell you this too, though.
You went to that national championship game?
I did. Midweek, a fraternity brother of mine, Heath Harrelson, who's in seminary, he's from Decatur. We got last-minute travel arrangements for about $500 each, flying to San Francisco and back, round trip.
Well, that was a great trip.
And end-zone seats, about 10 rows up, 15 rows up, for about $120. Great seats. After the game, we limped or drove around. After the game, we rode around San Francisco trying to find somewhere to spend the night.
Yeah.
$400 a night. I said, Heath, we're going to spend the night in the car. So we went across the Golden Gate Bridge and found a motel, nice motel for about $120 a night. Then we flew back, but that was we were in it for a long time, and we just couldn't score right there at the goal line.
But 25 times we couldn't score. That's a game that offensively, play calling. I mean, Josh Jacobs was running for like 5 yards a carry, and Tua threw a couple of horrible interceptions, and that game really should have been a lot closer. It never should have been the blowout that it was.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: the Clemson fans and that sideline had electricity the time they walked into the stadium. That was the difference too, or one of the key factors. That crowd for Clemson was
let me tell you something else they got. They got a cold-blooded coach. And let me tell you something. That guy is cold-blooded. Hey, he'd go to battle 365 days a year. And he's the last person to be scared of Saban, because he expects to be given an opportunity to be the head coach of Alabama one day.
Well, Clemson's going to be in it again. They're going to be in it again.
Dabo?
Yeah, if you wanted to, but by that time they'll be paying Dabo $20 million a year.
When Alabama's getting blown out and you're at that game, do you leave? I had so many friends that left the stadium in the fourth quarter. Or did y'all stay for the whole thing?
We stayed for the entire thing.
Yeah.
Well, I knew.
I'm bad about leaving games.
Michael, I knew it was going to be bad. We get there 3 hours before kickoff. Time they opened up the stadium, 3 hours before kickoff, we were there. We were in our seats. Heath went and got his food first, then I went and got my hot dog, pretzel, and Coke. And on the way back, as I was sitting down, my hot dog slid out of my bun. My hot dog slid out of my bun. And so I said, I'm not going back up there and paying $20 for another hot dog. So I ate the bun, I ate my pretzel and a Coke. I knew it was going to be a bad night after that.
10 seconds. What is it now, Mike? 7 seconds or 10 seconds that you could pick some up off the ground and not hurt you?
It sat there.
I think they say 7 seconds.
Well, before the game,
the 7-second rule.
Hey, before the game, I had on a white Alabama light jacket, and I had on a pink lace so people could pick me out on TV, and people were calling me, Forrest, we see you, Forrest, we see you. So we're sitting there in the stadium about an hour and a half before kickoff, and somebody to my far right, Forrest Lee.
Yeah.
I said, who knows me in California? Well, it was Ronnie Bozeman and some of his buddies from the Sanders. He's good friends with the Sanders guy.
Yeah.
I said, who knows me in California?
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest, run!
We needed Forrest Gump that night. But let me tell you something funny that really happened. We get on the airplane in Montgomery about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
The plane is full. Heath lets me have the aisle.
And everybody going to the game, too.
Well, we're going to Texas is where we're going. And so I said, Heath, can I have the exit seat, which only on those small planes gives you about an extra inch. Well, there's one seat vacant on the plane.
You're the nightmare of all nightmares. I mean, I'm sitting there like you're sitting there waiting. I sure hope nobody gets this seat.
This guy that walked in was about 6'6", 380 pounds, sat beside me. I looked like a tiny fella.
You're talking about sardines?
Listen, I started hyperventilating. I said, I'm going to have to get off this plane. So, I mean, I was squished and I couldn't hardly breathe. And so within 3 minutes, he started snoring on the tarmac. Snored all the way. And Heath is ahead of me. He's laughing.
God.
And I said, Heath, stop. I can't catch your cramp. I ain't got nowhere to go.
I know it.
But the stewardess, I said, ma'am, can y'all move one of us? We're the two biggest guys on the plane. No, sir, there are no seats available. Well, the guy's girlfriend was on the plane. He should have put her with them two together and let me sit. I'd have took my chances.
Yeah. But she was probably glad you didn't. She was probably glad you didn't.
It was awful.
Tell us who Goshen and we know that Charles Henderson goes to Marbury. It's considered a jamboree game. But does Pike County and Goshen play this weekend or next weekend?
No, sir. The way I've got on the schedule I just pulled up, it says on the 18th of September, Goshen will play its first game against Reeltown.
Okay, so they got a way to go.
They're only going to play region schedules.
Yeah.
And when I pulled up Pike County earlier, I believe Pike County is going to open up. I've just pulled it up now. Whether or not this is correct, it's pulling up now. It says that they will play maybe the 28th against Beulah. In Beulah.
That's of September, is that right?
That's August.
I mean August.
The 28th. Yeah. Then it says they play Beulah again. Back to back. Whether or not that's true, that's what it says.
Yeah, we'll find that out. But
that's on Max Prep Sports, which may not be totally up to date.
Exactly right. Of course, you call in this morning. You have any questions? I thought that segment with the two administrators of Pike County High School and. Of course, under the direction of Dr. Martin Brazil.
I'm shocked by those numbers. I really thought like more people would send their kids back to school, 50-50.
I believe that's the same.
Online classes and attending classes. I'm amazed by that.
Mike,
that's a lot of parents having to be home with kids.
Yeah, but Mike, a lot of people are scared, and and rightfully so. I'd rather for them be scared than to go out and not adhere to these rules and regulations about wearing
if you see the number of kids though from 28 to one as far as the virus, I mean the numbers are just so low. It would be tough for me. I mean we send ours to preschool, and I mean we have several friends down here that are sending their young kids to elementary school and junior high and high school down here, so I don't know. That would be tough.
Yeah. Here's a few of the games in our area tonight. Of course, our cable will be in Ozark at Carroll High School for a 7 o'clock kickoff against Eufaula. I might drive down there for that. Then they've got Headland playing host to Wicksburg. These are regular season games. Rehoboth playing host to Providence Christian. That should be a good one. Arrington plays at home. Arrington is at home to Dale County. That'd be a good one to go to. Geneva's at Opp. Kinston is at Houston Academy. Those are regular season games. Northside Methodist starts its season at Houston County. Dothan is off. Enterprise is off. Charles Henderson is off, but they will be playing in a jamboree tonight in Marbury, Alabama. If you want to know how to go to Marbury, stay on 65 past past Prattville, the last Prattville exit, and start looking to your right. You'll see the lights over there. That's Marbury High School.
They're booming.
And yeah, there's no question about it. Other games, Pike County is off. That answers that question. Slocum's off. New Brockton is off. Ashford is off. Charles Henderson is off, but we'll be playing in a jamboree. And G.W. Long is off, so Goshen's off, so, and Zion Chapel and Samson. So the majority of the high school games are off.
I read it again. Now, Zion Chapel will play all of its home games in Enterprise.
Isn't that amazing?
To allow for more seating. Yeah. And they said if they didn't, the players will be only allocated 2 tickets that their family members could attend.
Yeah.
Because the other side has to have equal tickets.
That is amazing.
So that's why
that'll be exciting for those players.
Yeah.
That's like playing in a little college stadium in Enterprise.
Exactly. We're going off the air. Of course, I hope you watch this show. You can watch it again today at 2 o'clock, or 1:30 if you did not get all the information you need. We appreciate you very much. Troy University scrimmages tomorrow morning. And, hey, they play on September 5th against very good team from Louisiana Monroe. So
happy Brent Jones.
Brent Jones Day. Happy Brent Jones Day. We have made the day Brent Jones Day as per our Today in LA show.
You should get the key to Troy Cable.
That's right. No question about it. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you Monday morning bright and early today in LA. That's Low